Good morning. This is another discussion of bamboo control situation. We're in a different part of my yard than my last bamboo control update. And if you'll notice, this soil here, the Chapel Hill gravel packed it down, looks disturbed, right? Same as here, looks disturbed. Well, this is my wheelbarrow path that I put in beside my steps going that way. And ever so often, I'll see cracks here, and recently a crack here at the surface. And when I dug down, unfortunately, I found a bamboo rhizome. So seeing as it's happened two times, and then under this oak leaf hydrangea, I had some bamboo vegetative stuff coming up. I finally decided my trench back here that I put in years ago, it's called a pruning trench. I hadn't been paying attention to it, and when I recently took the pitchfork and a hoe and did some investigation of my pruning trench down here, like I've explained in other videos, back in that area used to be tons of bamboo coming up in my neighbor's backyard. He cut the above ground bamboo away but left all the rhizomes. So they're living, doing their thing, and of course trying to invade under my fence. Like in a previous bamboo discussion video, I talked about how this fence was terribly rotted, and I added these bamboo ripped poles to the bottom of the fence to help out and create a barrier to keep rhizomes from coming in. Because the ground level on the other side of the fence is right about there. But however, upon investigation, I had bamboo rhizomes that had gone underneath the block, underneath the bamboo staking and slats. Not one, but three had come in. And as well, from behind this oak leaf hydrangea, I had a bamboo rhizome heading this way. I dug it up, and it was just coming from straight down under the ground. So I've cut all these off, and the theory is you cut off rhizomes from their source, and eventually over the years they will dry up and die as long as you continue to remove any vegetative growth or culms that they try and scent up. They will die. So my next step in this area is I have a whole lot of these guys here that I've made that are more substantial than these. I have a ton of them, which will be about 10 inches long. And what I plan on doing is adding them to the front of the pre-existing bamboo slats, so I will go down deeper in the ground. And like I did over in a previous video over here, when I put the slats in, I am going to add a layer of concrete, some quickcrete, to set up along this trench here. And I'm only going to go for right now to right about here and extend this level down another 5 or 6 inches, plus the level of concrete. Now that will be a nice control, and the concrete's going to go right up against the new bamboo slats that I rip. You know, people will tell you, oh, bamboo, it'll go right through the concrete into your house. That's not true. Bamboo cannot go through concrete. it'll just turn to the left or the right or try and go up. But if you've got a hole in your concrete or a serious crack, it'll go through that. Let's say you lay down brick on sand or pavers on sand. Bamboo will go right through that sand and pop up and push your pavers right out of the way as it's trying to grow. But coming against a solid concrete barrier, they are going to turn left or right, or they're going to turn up behind this fence and try and sprout up that way. They typically, as far as I know, bamboo does not go down deeper, say another 5 or 6 inches to go under something. But that's in my past experience and what I've read online. But hey, life is life. These guys may figure out a way to get under. But the nice thing is, even if they go deep under anything I put in here, they will then go back to their nature and try and follow along just under the ground a few inches. And what happens here with my Chapel Hill gravel soil mix that's tamped down tight, when they hit this area, their evidence of going underground causes cracks, and I always find it soon enough. So later we'll talk about what I'm actually doing to make the supplies for this project update. Okay, I'm here in my garage shop, and I've taken my 10-inch miter saw and I've cut a lot of this bamboo 10 inches long, and eventually I'm going to lay them on the saw here like that, and I will rip them. And when I rip them, I will get these pieces like this, which I could screw onto the places outside we looked at before. So today I'm going to be ripping these. I don't know that I'll be installing them today because it is stinking hot outside. But here in the garage with my fan going, it's a pleasant temperature. So I'll be able to knock this out today and do other things. Until then, got all my bamboo, fighting bamboo ripped poles 10-inch long, cut and ready to go. But I don't know that I'm going to put in a full day of installing these, because right now we're looking at 95-degree temperature out here with a heat index of 112. So most likely I'm going to do this later in the evening when things cool off a bit. Well, the heat index on this Saturday is 116, and I have begun the process of putting in this second barrier of bamboo slats or poles. I put them towards the wall, and with that piece of wood and the sledgehammer, I tap them into the soil as tight as I can get them, and then of course I screw them in with these screws, and I repeat the process over and over and over and over and over and over till I get to the end of the run down there. Most likely, as hot as it is, I may not be finishing today, but I'll get as my wife says, I'll use the pepperoni method or salami method and cut slice by slice by slice of the job until it is done. Alright, we'll tune back in a bit. Well, it is July the 29th, and it's been 3 days since I did any work here. And the whole reason is, like I've expressed before, the heat index down here has been like in the 110s to 118s, and I just don't want to work in weather like that. The other thing is that a whole lot of cucumbers come in my garden, about 7 pounds worth in 5 days. So yesterday and today we have been processing cucumbers, and you know the old saying, we're in a pickle. Well, when you're in a pickle, you can't stop. You got to follow the rules and regulations and hours and all that. So there's a good chance I may not get any more work done until sometime early next week. But I doubt I may do that because middle of the week I'm heading to Texas for vacation. So I don't want to hurt myself or twist my back or some other crap like that before vacation. So yeah, it looks like we're looking probably sometime after August 11th we'll get back into this. And I did a quick count of how many slats I've yet to install, and it's going to be somewhere between 75 to 80. And I've made a slight change in how I'm going to finish this project out. Hold on just a minute. Now I have a good amount of paver base left over, and I'm going to take it and spread it out in the trench, a thin layer, before I put the Quikrete on top. Yeah, the Quikrete will mix in nicely with the paver base, and I will probably go up on the new slats, I would say at least 1.5 inches, 2 inches deep. I'll pile the concrete up against them. That'll add a little bit more stability and long lastingness to this method. And these areas you see, like, that are raised up right here and like right over there, they are roots coming from this guy here. So you just adjust the height of your slat as you're working. Now, unfortunately, I have found bamboo sometimes will go under those roots to gain access to area out here. So hopefully I won't have a sneak attack. All right, well, that's it for now. Signing off until maybe August. It is time finally to get back to this project of adding more bamboo slats all the way down to there. And last time I made a video about this job was July 29th, when the heat indexes were in the 100s and the low 110s. And since then I've been off to Texas on vacation and taking a break. And now the heat indexes are going to be more like 84 today, with highs of like 81. And since then, I've had bizarre rhizome incursions. I had two coming up from here. Again, it baffles me because my bamboo barrier runs here, and these stones were stacked up in front of it. So where they came from, I have no idea. I have a mind to pull all these stones out and trace the rhizomes back and see whether they're coming up from under the bamboo barrier or whether they made an in run and came out here. It's very perplexing. And just like one of my other videos, I had a rhizome incursion over there where you can see I put in some bamboo slats and a little bit of quickcrete as well. Since then, I've had no trouble over there. No trouble here. And only this trouble a couple days ago. So even though that's very frustrating in itself, I am going to keep trying to control the unseen huge amount of rhizomes coming from over there from an old bamboo stand in my neighbor's yard. And they're still alive over there beyond the fence, and they still try to make incursions, which we've already talked about. So today, I continue on with the project. Just about a week shy of a month break. All right, let's have at it. Work my way from right about there down to that huge pine root coming from that guy. However, the area for me to stand in to work was a little too tight, so I pulled out a lot of dirt and made it more level and piled it here for right now. And I did the same thing here at this end, and now it's time for a break. This is my kind of a break area. Got various dried fruits, whatnot here, ice cold water, and a nice fan going up top. Well, after my long break, I only did from whatever was in the last part of the video you saw, from here down to here and down to there. So I've got from here over to this root, and then from here over to right there. So I'll be able to finish tomorrow, at least getting the bamboo slats up, and then the paver base will be added in, and then the quickcrete, and I'll throw all this dirt and soil and pine needles and whatnot over a few days after the quickcrete has had time to set up, and I'll be done here. So until tomorrow, ciao. Well, tomorrow has come. It's a little bit before 8. We have a pleasant working temperature right now of about 68 degrees or so, which is pretty cool temperatures for August. I went ahead and I did a quick count of these guys here that I'm going to have to finish installing, and it looks to be about 32, 33 of them, and that won't take too long to put in, and I won't be worn out and tired because these temperatures won't sap my energy out. And then I will run to Lowe's to get the quickcrete, mix it up in my wheelbarrow, and I'll be ready to install my Quikrete along here. Now, something that I may or may not do, I may dig just about a 1 or 2 inch down trough right in front of the new pieces that I put in, just to go down a little deeper than where they are for the Quikrete to go in. And that should sure up things for a long time as far as rhizomes coming this way. I am now in the short rows, so to speak. I have gone past that big pine root running there and working my way down this way. And at last count, last estimation, we're looking at about 18 or 19 of these bamboo slats that I've got ripped and ready. And then we can get on to the next phase. Short rows are done. And I have taken a tool and flattened out right in front of each one of these bamboo slats here, and I'm going to be adding the paver base that I've got distributed out here, and we'll get that in nice and level, and then I will head off to Lowe's for some Quikrete. Paver base is in and tamped down up against the bamboo on that side, and this section as well, up to this big root here. And then we have the paver base in this last section. Time to go to Lowe's, get some Quikrete. Well, I waited till the next day to go get concrete and mix it up, and here is 1 bag's worth from here down to here, and 1, 2, 3 bags will easily take care of that. So let's go mix up the rest. Alrighty, we've got the second bag, the second area covered with concrete. Got 1 more to go over there. Well, we are done, finished with this area in here. Got a little bit of concrete slopped up on the slats. I sprayed that off. That's why we got a little bit of standing water on top of the concrete. But we're going to leave this alone just like it is for a couple days. Let this cure nice and dry. And then the pine straw, soil, whatnot will be put back and evened out. It'll look like nothing ever happened. So, one thing you got to do when you get done finish using stuff, mixing up concrete, you need to clean it off good. This stuff cleaned up okay. The barrel though didn't clean up real good because I took a break after the first 2 mixes and left dry concrete sitting in there while I was taking a break. So the concrete from the earlier 2 mixes pretty much stayed on there. But not thick, not too bad. And you know, it's a wheelbarrow, so that's not a big deal. Alright, signing off. Hope you learned something from this video of mine on bamboo control options.